It's not smart basketball no more. I saw a clip not too long ago where Kobe said, like, yo, it's accidental basketball. And he couldn't have been more right. Like, it's crazy. When we played the Lakers a couple weeks ago, it was so refreshing to play against Bron. Because every possession is like a chess match. Like, he trying to see when you coming to help so he can zing the pass through. You're kind of playing this cat and mouse game, trying to wait till he turn his head so you can go help. And every possession is some type of chess move. You don't get that today in the NBA often. You go back to like those matchups where we were playing against, and so every now and then you get a matchup like that. But you don't just get that on a regular basis. It's just who can run faster, who can hit more threes. It's no substance. And so I think it's very boring.
Well, Draymond said so much. Who cares what Draymond says? It doesn't mean anything. People. This is what I mean. One guy can say this, and one guy can say that. The game is what it is. People either like the game or they don't, and I think people enjoy the game, especially if their team can win. And you look at the basketball, it might be boring to him because if he's not passing the ball to Curry, what is he doing?
I agree. Triple single is
not to single that out because I think he knows how to play basketball, but he's passed his ball to Curry more than anyone I've ever seen in basketball. And so it means a lot. So, it might be boring to him at times because for what he's doing, maybe it is boring when he's out there. He's not shooting a lot, and he's not guarding a lot. So it's boring.
So that was Draymond Green, and then followed by Oscar Robertson, giving his take on what Draymond stated. And my take on this, as I've stated in past podcast, is if you don't like the product, then don't watch it. If you don't like a TV show, don't watch it. If you don't like a social media website, don't join it. If you don't like the post, scroll past. It goes for anything. And Draymond saying what he said, and I agree what he's saying, but I disagree with one thing. He is part of the problem. You see, a lot of guys, again, it goes back to what I said. There's no accountability for the game right now. Draymond said all the right things, but he is one of the biggest issues with the game right now. He's a player that is, watched a lot. He's a player that's being talked about normally, regularly, every day. He's part of the problem. Oh, I'm going to sit. When was the last time Draymond Green played 75 games? I'm not hating on him. He's a good basketball player. He's a very intelligent basketball player. If you guys don't believe that, you're crazy. He's a very intelligent basketball player. But the business part of it gets your money. But the effort part of it, it's not working right now. He says it's boring, but you're part of the problem. The only way you're going to set the example is by actually performing and putting in the effort and playing those games. You can't come to me and tell me you play 40 games and then you come and say the game is boring. Oscar Robertson is right. If you don't like it, don't watch it. It's a different game. You have to get used to it. And unfortunately, for some of you, you're going to have to accept it. I accept it. I accept the game the way it is. It's faster, it's quicker, the players are more athletic. They could jump out of the gym, Their energy levels are at an all-time high. Like, the only problem is with the NBA, in my opinion, are two problems. Number one, the commissioner, and the effort put forth by the players. That's my two issues. If the players put more effort in the games, and the commissioner knew what he was doing, this product would far exceed the 90s and the early 2000s. It would. I don't care what anybody says. Can somebody have a Kobe Bryant mentality or somewhat of it or an MJ mentality? They're never going to be those guys, but some of that mentality, I hear Tatum always saying, oh, I look up to Kobe. I don't see Kobe in him. Kyrie, there's some instances he could turn on a little Mamba in him and he'll do something. He'll damage you. But all the other guys that talk about Kobe, I see nothing about Kobe that they're actually doing on the court. Are you going to play 75 games? Are you going to, have that killer instinct? No, most of them don't. And I'm not criticizing you. I'm just talking facts. If you want to emulate these guys, you got to put the work in. If you're going to emulate Michael Jordan, put the work in. If you're going to emulate Kobe Bryant, put the work in. You have to. You can't just sit around and do nothing. Take games off and then show up the next game and say, oh yeah, I had no, you can't do that. So Oscar's right in terms of, if you don't like the product, don't watch it. It is what it is, and that's it. And that's how I say it. So that's my take on that. The All-Star game, I watched highlights via YouTube, whatever. It is what it is. The dunk-off, the 3-time champion, is from the G League. It speaks volumes. It speaks volumes on the effort of the players in the league. You're losing to a guy from the G League, and I'm not taking anything away from Matt, from McClung at all, because he knows what he's doing. That kid could jump out of the gym. So, but at the end of the day, it's like, come on, guys. If you want to beat the champion, you have to actually show up and do something. So hopefully we get some guys next year that are ready to come in and actually do something. So I heard a little whisper from John Morant and, maybe he could do something. I wouldn't doubt it. But, the whole All-Star weekend is more of advertising and the commissioner trying to explain his new ideas than the actual event itself. And then the game itself, the All-Star game, from what I read, it was a total of 30-something minutes. And then 2 hours of commercials and ads and Kevin Hart. Why is Kevin Hart there? No disrespect to Kevin Hart. Well, why is he there? He's not funny. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just telling you my personal opinion. I never, ever thought that guy was funny. He's good in movies. So there are some movies that Kevin Hart is actually really good. But when it comes to stand-up comedy, he doesn't even come close or stratospheres to the greats. Not even close. So, no. Get the introductions, sing the national anthem, and get the game going like they did back in the days. Yeah, I'm a little old school, but none of this, all this other sideshow stuff. It's ridiculous. And the NBA players should be ashamed that the rookies came out and played the way they played. Because I know some guys did not like the fact that the rookies were playing in the All-Star on site. The All-Star is supposed to be for the stars that were voted in, the guys who earned it. Shout out to Norman Powell and Sabonis Jr., who did not get an opportunity. They should have been in the All-Star game, and I'm going to get to that very quickly. Not very quickly. Next up. But I'm just telling you guys, the All-Star game, the way it is, it's because of the players. I'm not blaming out Adam Silver for this one. It's because of the players. The checks, the checks are nice. Man, if the NFL system was implemented in the NBA in some way, form, or fashion, or if David Stern was still running the NBA, I'm telling you, this would never be a topic for any podcast because there would be some competition. Now, let me go to the last part of the quick take here. The whole LeBron James dilemma. Oh, he came out last minute and said he is not going to play. Is he wrong? Absolutely. But do I blame him? No. This is how the NBA is. How many times have you gone to a game or watched a game? Oh, he's going to play, he's going to play, he's going to play. 7:30 tip-off. 7:25, he's not playing. We shoot LeBron because he's an easy target. But what we should do is shoot the Zions and all the other guys who just sit. If you're going to shoot LeBron, sure, he should be reprimanded for that. I mean, if David Stern was alive and still running the league if that would have happened. First of all, it wouldn't have happened if David Stern was in charge. If David Stern had heard anything about him being hurt or whatever, you would have went to him. Yes or no? Tell me right now, or blah, blah, blah. There would have been a replacement on that plane Saturday morning coming over to San Francisco. I guarantee it in the David Stern regime. So this is Adam Silver, who has created this culture by allowing a lot of things to slide, and now it happens. Listen, LeBron could have walked out, played 2 minutes, dribbled the ball for 2 seconds, and came out and said, I'm done. I would have rather him do that and just chill out. I don't blame him at all for doing what he did. This is the new NBA. If you don't like it, oh well. This atmosphere, this structure, this attitude has been created so badly. It's been created lately. It's so bad. It's like, damn, like, so we all like shitting on LeBron, but no, don't shit on him. Shit on all the other players that have been sitting. Because LeBron's been playing. Not like he sat 7 games in a row. LeBron's going to be playing. I'm sure he's going to be playing Wednesday against Charlotte. Let's not shit on him. Let's go talk to the Zions and the other players who think this is, oh yeah, let me just sit. Zion could be the next Tyreke Evans and the next OJ Mayo. And you know what happened to those guys? Yeah. Remember Tyreke Evans? I remember Tyreke Evans. How old is he now? 35? He should be 35. Remember 2009, he got drafted. He was a first round, 4th pick, Memphis. 2010, Rookie of the Year. He had everything going for him. All the lights, the stars, the glitter, the glamour. Had it all, living the life. He's out of the league in 6 years, 6, 7 years? Out of the league. 35, he's been out of the league for how long now? A good period of time. OJ Mayo, same thing. 2008, 1st round pick, 3rd pick. I remember vividly. 37, he's done. That could be Zion. So before we shit on LeBron has been in the All-Star game how many years? He's played 20 All-Star games. This is his 21st All-Star appearance. No. Let's talk about the guys who should have been all-stars, who should have been in the league and are sitting at home doing Instagram videos trying to prove that they could still play. No, you can't. You're out because you did what you did. Was LeBron wrong once again? Absolutely, he was wrong. But let's look at the guys who should have been all-stars. I just named you 2. I could give you a bunch. Oh, man. Even my guy, Michael Beasley. I'm a Michael Beasley guy. Should have been an all-star. Should have been playing in the league still. He made a lot of choices that were not respectfully smart, and he's out of the league. So this whole all-star thing with LeBron, let's calm down. Let's move on. It's not a big deal. He didn't miss anything as you could watch the product, so let's just calm down on that. So, we shoot on people who are there consistently, but what about the people who are not? It's like, for example, you have a WhatsApp group or whatever, and you have the administrator who's never in the group. Everybody in the group that he brought in does something, but the administrator in the group is never doing anything. He spends more time on Instagram or whatever posting instead of putting his ass in the group and doing something. Nobody shits on those people. I know I have. Because if you're in a group like that, I'm out. You know what I mean? So let's look at it like this. Let's stop shitting on the people who are actually coming out and doing something. And let's go after those who are not doing nothing. Shitting on LeBron for missing 1 All-Star game when we should be shitting on Zion and the rest of those guys who should be All-Stars. Because he's on the Tyreke Evans, OJ Mayo path, which is very soon. So let's stop this. Folks, that's another edition of Quick Take. Have yourselves a great day. great afternoon, great evening, or whatever your time zone is. I'm out again. Peace.
I think what we should do is, let's say, the world take on the American players in the NBA, kind of somewhat sort of what are you doing in the NHL? What do you think?
Well, listen, hockey's a different sport from the NBA. You can't compare the cultures because of the way the game is played. You can step on an NBA floor and go through the emotions. You can't do that in hockey. You can't. Like, the culture of our sport, you have to play it with passion. You have to be willing to fight. You have to be willing to leave it on the ice. That's what fans are investing in. So for us, when we charge $1,500 for a ticket to come to fans know what they're getting. Cale Makar, the best defenseman in the world, wasn't in the lineup for this game. This was the most viewed game that we've had in years. And you see it, it's because it's not just based on the skill and talent. It's based on the pride, honor, playing for the guy next to you. I got a question for the NBA players. What the hell are you playing for? What are you playing for? It's not about the money. You make all the money. What, you're injured? Well, there's a difference between being hurt and injured. Are you hurt or are you injured? There's a difference. In hockey, we play hurt. We play injured. That is the culture of the sport. It's always been that way. So you want to talk about the business, the CBA, fans get all of that. But what do fans resonate with? They resonate with what's real. You got to fight sometimes for your country. You got to compete. You got to go out there and leave it on the ice because those people are paying the price of admission. So fans know whether our stars are on the ice or not, they're getting their money's worth. The NBA has that issue that they got to work on. You got to create a better culture for your players. It starts with the leaders. This issue, there was no issue when Jordan was around. There was no issue when Kobe was around. There's no issue when Sidney Crosby's around. There's no issue when Wayne Gretzky was around because those are true leaders. They lead by example. Sidney Crosby, Hockey Canada, those players, both Canada and U.S., it was the players that did that for the Four Nations. That's not the league. The league set it up, but the players went out there and decided and said, you know what, boys? We're all in. When is the NBA going to do that? Because, I haven't sat down and watched the NBA consistently since Kobe. Since Kobe has died, I have not sat down and watched the NBA consistently. I love basketball. Love the players. I think LeBron's great. I think KD's great. Steph Curry, love watching them. But you got to be on the court. You got to be there, and when you're there, you got to go all in. The fans got to feel that they're getting their money's worth. And right now, there's a big difference between what the NHL's doing with those events and what the NBA's doing. Four Nations works because the players are all in.
Man, is PK Subban passionate. Pretty much everything he said in his soliloquy, I've mentioned. Don't look at PK Subban as the NHL player. Don't look at him as just a black player playing in the NHL who should still be in the league due to racism, let's be honest. Don't look at PK Subban as a guy who dated a white woman and took a lot of flack for it, because he's very pro-black, but yet dates a white woman, which is a contradiction in many ways, but that's not the issue, and that's not the subject for today. The subject for today is, what have I been talking about with the effort? We just finished talking about the All-Star game, which is the first part of this episode. This is the second part of this episode, which you guys will hear this all in its entirety on the podcast, which is a special quick take, which will be an extensive. So first part will be, and then as soon as that part's done, boom, we'll just kick right into this one that I'm doing now. So, yeah. Shout out to PK. He's 100% right. No disagreement on that. NBA, man, where's the effort? So let me get down to it really, really quick here. So tonight, the Lakers and Charlotte Hornets started the second half of the season. Hornets won 197. Now, LeBron, who originally was reported supposed to miss the next two games, decided to play tonight. 10 for 22. Was 4 for 11 from the three-point line. He scored 26 points, had 11 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks with a bad foot. Let me read that again. 26 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds, and 2 blocks, and only 2 turnovers. But was a -4 on the court and played 38 minutes. You really believe that LeBron James could have played in the All-Star? Like I said, he didn't have to play. He could have just dressed, dropped 2 dribbles, and sat. But I've already talked about LeBron not playing in the All-Star game, doing what he's doing. Like I said, I didn't agree with the move, but I have no problem with it. LeBron is going to play. So let's not question LeBron James playing. He is going to play. The man is 40 years old. If he wants to take a game off, he can, and he should be allowed to. But will he do it? Not really. There are a lot of games he's going to be. He doesn't have to play the Hornets tonight. The team is 14-39. Why would he play that game? He still played. No further comment on that. Luka. Wow. 5 for 18, 28% from the field. He had 8 assists, 11 rebounds, and 14 points. And apparently he was a plus 13 on the court. I don't know how that works when LeBron was the one who was 3 rebounds away from a triple-double and it was 10 for 22. But how this plus-minus works in the NBA, I don't know, but it's whatever. Now, let me get to this point also. Yesterday I talked about the grit and grind of players and the old schools, and we've listened to the Kobes and the Michaels and all the old school guys, the Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas, and I mean, you can go on with Patrick Ewing and Sean Kemp, Gary Payton. I mean, the list goes, Akeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, Tim Duncan. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. Penny Hardaway. I mean, I could keep going with those generational players. But there's a guy that I forgot to mention on the previous part 1 of this Quick Take special podcast. No, it's not special. It's just a quick take, but it's a little longer than usual. Russell Westbrook. I'm a Westbrook guy. If all of you didn't know before, now you know. I'm a Westbrook guy. The guy is 100 miles per hour every game, gives you 100 every game. If Westbrook's mentality was implanted in some of these players, I wouldn't even be questioning effort. But if you listen to Pecan's take, not P. Oh my gosh, I called the man Pecan. Sorry, PK Subban. If you listen to PK's take, there's passion in what he's saying, and he's not lying. So that's the thing about that. I feel like the game needs something. The game needs something, and I'm not going to keep talking about it because I think I've talked way too much NBA. I think now that the second half has begun, let's see how this materializes. But again, it starts from the top, Adam Silver and his administration, and then the players are right behind him. They got to put the effort. Sometimes in life, you got to go against the administration. Not in a disrespectful way, but play. Play it out. Let them know, you know what? Yeah, you're in charge, but guess what? We're going to show you. You need us. You know? Because in the NBA, you're getting paid. Your checks are coming, and they are coming, and you should get your check. But you got to put the effort in. I'm going to keep saying it again. So hopefully, this whole All-Star weekend and the whole whatever it was that they want to call it, LeBron sitting and this happening and that happening, hopefully it gives the players a better perspective. I'm not saying it's going to happen because I don't think it will, but hopefully it does. Because at some point in time, the NBA is going to have to make a very critical decision. Is it going to be the players or is it going to be the administration? The owners are going to have to choose. Just like they chose to make that Luka trade. You think this is just a Dallas thing? It's an NBA thing. They don't want to pay guys. They're just like, you know what? We're not paying you anymore. We are just going to give you what you deserve, And that's it. Because right now, Luka as a Laker, it ain't doing too much. The Lakers have played 3 games. 2 against Utah, dead team. Charlotte tonight, dead team. We're going to find out when they play some decent and great competition where they stand in that pecking order in the league. Because right now they got what? They're 32-21. They're okay. They're in decent position, in the play-in 6th seed. But the rest of the season will tell the rest of the story. So that's all I'm going to say, folks. Stay tuned in. As always, this is going to be a very interesting conclusion to the NBA season. And later on, as time goes by, I'll do another podcast on the NBA. But I'm going to keep it quiet because I want to see something. I'm not going to give the NBA too much of my time. I've given them way too much time in the past. And that time I gave them, I loved it and I appreciated it. I appreciated the energy they gave me and the games that they gave me. And I have no regrets watching the NBA and spending all those hours, countless hours on the TV, watching the games, recording games. So now I wouldn't do or waste a second. So, folks, that's the conclusion of this pod. You know where to dial in. Beat Fact Music, the pod show at Beat Fact Music. Type it in on Google. Subscribe on YouTube. Spotify, we're there. Apple Podcasts, we're there. I'm signing out wherever you are in the world at this time. What time zone, doesn't matter. Have yourself a great day. Stay safe. Peace.